day 4, October 12th. I'm heading back to the spot where we were getting the pictures of Lefty about a month ago, and I have not gotten any pictures of him in quite a long time now, so I don't really know if that deer is still in that area or not. I was running the trail cameras on corn until several weeks ago, then I just started running the cameras on the time-lapse mode back there, just taking pictures of the food plot. I was hitting it every 30 seconds, and I was getting pictures of a lot of deer, so I'm sure we're going to see deer back there. It's a big and beastie plot, but I never did once pick up Lefty once I stopped putting corn out there. So that's one of the downsides, I guess, of using corn to get your inventory is, you know, sometimes you pull deer to the corn and you're not really pegging exactly where they live. But this is a cold front today. In fact, it's probably the first really good cold front of the year. We've had a couple earlier in October that were lesser cold fronts, but it's in the 40s right now, which is, you know, for the middle of October, that's a pretty good chill, especially when you consider yesterday it was 75 degrees. So we're looking for plenty of deer movement, and I've got other spots that I could hunt this evening where we've had more recent pictures, daylight pictures of bucks that I would shoot. The problem is, you know, this blind that we're going to now only sets up for this wind, a northwest wind. We've got it now, and we're not going to have it after today. And a lot of times the first crack you get at a buck that's on a nocturnal pattern is the day when a cold front goes through. So we're going to try this, and we can always go back and hit those other spots where we had the daylight bucks coming out on other wind directions. So it's not like it's either or. We can do both. It's just that we need to get back here tonight on this northwest wind. Then we'll try a few more spots as the week goes on. I'm looking forward to seeing a bunch of deer. Whether we see any shooter bucks or not, I guess that remains to be seen, but it'll be a lot of fun going back in there. We've gotten settled into the blind here. So far there hasn't been any activity on the food plot. This food plot here was big and beastie that we drilled with the Genesis seeder back in the end of August. And it's come in real nice and thick. I mean, it's a gorgeous looking food plot. There's a couple little spots where maybe we didn't get the drill down, and we got some, you know, some bare spots in the plot, but turned out really good. While we're waiting for the deer to come out, I'm going to take you back to a project that Zach and I worked on yesterday. I have a stand close to the house, and we took an opportunity during that warm day to cut an entry and exit route to that stand. It's October 11th, and I've got a project today to open up a trail through the timber that leads back to one of my stands. This is a spot that's pretty close to my house, and it's one that I've hunted quite a bit over the years. But if I don't open this trail up, I've got to walk through a lot of brush. And sometimes you got to go around the brush, and sometimes you step on stuff and break it. And either way, you're going to leave a lot of scent behind. And the deer travel back and forth across this trail that I use to get back to the stand. So if I'm walking through there and leaving scent on all this low vegetation, those deer are going to pick that up, and they're not going to come all the way back to where my stand is at. So that's one thing that people maybe don't appreciate, is the fact that it's not really the spots where your feet touch the ground, where you leave ground scent. It's really where the low vegetation touches against your pant legs as you're walking, or, you know, the sleeves on your jacket or whatever. If you watch deer when they're sneaking in trying to sort out ground scent, you'll find that they're several inches off the ground is where they're sniffing. They're usually not sniffing right on the ground. So on these types of spots like this, whenever possible, I'd like to have it cleaned up so that I know I'm not going to have to push through a bunch of brush getting to the stand. It's just going to be very counterproductive if I don't. I've got the Hoyman saw, and there's a bunch of branches here too that I need to trim down as we go through, because I don't want to beat this tractor up. And these things do an awesome job. It's fun to talk about them and show them anyway, because it's one of my favorite devices that I own. I mean, these things are so practical. So I'm going to walk ahead here first, trim out the spots that are going to interfere with the cab of the tractor, and then I'll fire this thing up and mow a path back to the stand. I've got about a half an hour left. Things have picked up quite a bit since my last update. We've had 8 deer out there, 7 antlerless, and 1 small buck. And I'm still waiting on something with a decent rack to pop out. The deer came out, they fed for a while, and now they've kind of dispersed back into the trees again. probably a good 30 minutes from now, and I'm done. But I doubt I'll bring you another update between now and then. The light gets pretty low inside the blind. It makes it really tough to shoot these updates in the blind. So just plan on checking out what I see from here to the end, and then I should be hunting again tomorrow. So check back again tomorrow evening. We should have another blog for you to bring you that action.